I started masturbating too early and now I can't last more than 30 seconds. It sounds embarrassing, even painful to admit out loud, but this isn't just my story. It's the silent reality of millions of men around the world. If you're listening right now, maybe you've experienced the same thing but never told anyone. Maybe you've hidden it behind jokes, silence, or denial. But here's the truth. What we begin in secret when we're young often follows us for years, shaping our confidence, our relationships, and even our self-image as men. The story I'm about to tell you isn't just about mistakes. It's about understanding, transformation, and the hope that no matter how far you think you've fallen, you can climb back. Let me take you back. I was just 10 years old when curiosity got the best of me. I didn't even know what arousal meant, didn't understand intimacy, didn't even fully know what my body was capable of. But one day, through accident, exploration, and curiosity, I discovered masturbation. It was secretive, exciting, and felt like a rush I couldn't explain. At first I thought it was nothing, a simple trick my body could do, but what I didn't know was that every single time I repeated that behavior, I was training my brain. Just like a muscle grows when you repeat the same exercise, your nervous system grows habits when you repeat the same pleasure, and the habit I was building, quick, fast, immediate release. Day after day, year after year, I repeated it. Sometimes once a day, sometimes multiple times. It became a secret ritual, a private escape. And while kids my age were out playing games or discovering crushes, I was locked into a cycle that felt like freedom, but was really training me for a prison I couldn't yet see. Fast forward a few years, 13, 14, 15, my body grew older, my hormones grew stronger, and my curiosity about sex grew more intense. But along with that came the first taste of fear, because every time I got aroused, every time I let myself release, it happened in seconds. I didn't think much of it at first. I told myself it was normal, maybe even a phase. But deep down I knew something was off. When my friends started talking about girlfriends, first kisses, and all the awkward steps of teenage romance, I felt a knot in my stomach. What if I got the chance and I failed? What if I couldn't last? What if she laughed? What if I ruined the moment? That fear followed me everywhere. On the outside I looked normal. I laughed, I joked, I acted confident. But inside I was terrified of intimacy because I knew I couldn't control my body. Then came the first time with someone real. I thought maybe, just maybe, the real thing would feel so different that it would fix itself. But it didn't. The problem followed me. Seconds, not minutes. Not enough time to feel the connection. Not enough time to enjoy. Not enough time to even call it intimacy. And worse than the quick release was the shame that hit me right after. Shame is heavier than any physical issue. It digs into your confidence, makes you feel less of a man, and whispers in your ear, "You're not good enough. You'll never satisfy her. You're broken." And once that shame takes root, anxiety comes next. Anxiety makes your heart race, makes you rush, and the more you rush, the quicker it ends. A vicious cycle that feeds on itself. But here's the truth I promised you. You are not broken. You are not hopeless. And what you started too early does not have to define you forever. Science proves it. Psychology proves it. And real men who've been through this prove it every single day. Let's talk about why this happens. When you start too early, you condition your brain to seek instant reward. Every time you release quickly, your nervous system locks in the pattern. It becomes automatic. And once your brain learns a shortcut, it doesn't unlearn it easily. But just like any habit, it can be retrained. The same way athletes retrain their muscles, the same way musicians retrain their hands, you can retrain your body and your mind to last longer. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen if you're patient. Step 1 is awareness. Most men never even realize why they struggle. They think it's bad luck or something they're born with. But the truth is, it's often just habit. When you understand that, the shame starts to fade, because you realize it's not a curse, it's conditioning. And conditioning can change. Step 2 is practice. Not the kind of rushed practice you've been doing for years, but mindful practice. Learning to breathe through arousal. Learning to pause instead of rushing. Learning techniques like edging, where you bring yourself close but stop before finishing. Training your nervous system to endure. It feels awkward at first. You'll want to quit. But every time you push past that urge, you're building new pathways in your brain. You're teaching your body control instead of surrender. Step 3 is patience. Years of quick release don't disappear in a week, but progress comes in stages. Maybe you last 40 seconds, then a minute, then 2. Each win builds confidence, and confidence is the real key, because here's another truth. Anxiety is one of the biggest reasons men finish too fast. The more you worry about failing, the faster it happens. That's why calming your mind, focusing on your breathing, and even practicing mindfulness or meditation can change everything. It's not just your body, it's your brain, your emotions, your state of mind. I wish I had known this earlier. I wish someone had pulled me aside and said, hey, it's normal to explore, but don't train yourself into a corner. Protect your future self. But no one did, so I had to learn the hard way. And that's why I'm telling you now, because maybe you don't have to go through the same pain I did. Maybe you can take control sooner. Here's another thing most men don't realize. Performance isn't just about lasting longer. It's about presence. When you're constantly worried about how long you'll last, you're not even present with your partner. You're stuck in your own head, counting seconds, waiting for disaster. But when you gain control, when you start lasting longer, something shifts. You stop worrying about yourself, and you start connecting with her. You look into her eyes, you enjoy the moment, you feel confident enough to slow down. That's when intimacy becomes real. That's when sex becomes more than just release. It becomes connection. And let me tell you, confidence in bed doesn't stay in the bedroom. It spreads into every part of your life. You walk taller, you speak bolder, you carry yourself differently, because you know you're not hiding a secret anymore. You know you faced one of the hardest challenges a man can face, and you overcame it. That changes you. That makes you magnetic. So if you're listening right now, nodding, maybe even feeling that knot in your stomach because this sounds like your story too, let me tell you this, you are not alone. Millions of men have been exactly where you are. Some gave up, living in silence, carrying shame for years. Others fought, trained and overcame. Which one do you want to be? Because here's the truth. What you started early doesn't have to trap you forever. It doesn't define your future. What defines you is the choice you make right now. Will you keep repeating the same cycle, or will you break it and start fresh? Will you keep living in fear, or will you reclaim your control and your confidence? I know which choice I made, and I know which one you can make too. So don't see this as a curse. See it as a challenge that will make you stronger, more disciplined, and more confident than you've ever been. And when you finally win, when you finally last longer, when you finally look into your partner's eyes and see her smile instead of confusion, you'll know it was all worth it. Because the truth isn't that you started too early. The truth is that you have the power to change, no matter when you started. And that truth can rewrite your story forever.